Internet of Things makes our cars driverless, our homes connected, our cities smart, and factories run seamlessly. Artificial intelligence combined with IoT data is where the business value is created. Imagine yourself in the driverless world. I will teach you to pivot your career and innovate in your business using IoT, AI, and autonomous vehicles. Let's begin your journey with me today. I'm here with Alex Delia here in Barcelona, and he is part of the EU IoT Council that we are both very proud to be members of. And we are here at a Digital Cities event. It's called Digital Cities, Digital Freedoms, Digital Commons, Ethical Standards, and Free Software for Cities. It's a big name.
Yes, it's a big name.
And you go by Acme.
Yes, that's my nickname.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself first, Alex. You come from Italy? You live in Italy?
I come from Italy. I live in Italy right now, but I used to live around the world. So specifically, I lived in Austria for many years, where I worked for an internet service provider. And thereafter, I experimented on distributed networks, so really physical networks, what they call mesh networks. And after that, I started a small company building up smart cities with mesh networks.
How long ago was that?
This was year 2004 that we started in Austria, and 2008, so 10 years ago, I did build the first smart cities in Italy.
Okay.
And since then...
What part of Italy?
North of Italy. This was happening around Torino.
Okay.
And since then, I actually then focused back to what's my passion, which is, of course, distributed technologies and energy. So I'm also part of the Chetri Tires, which is an organization promoting the third industrial revolution, as presented by Jeremy Rifkin. And yeah, in this organization, we are actually doing real actions to foster the movement, to foster this transition into a new industrial revolution, where actually also, of course, society is changing with it.
So tell me a bit about your current startup, right? Mongrovia,
yes.
blockchain solution. So it goes back to your passion for distributed systems, I guess.
Yes, and
brought you to blockchain.
Yeah, the point is that going back to the energy world, after the smart cities, I tried to develop a startup, if you want to call it like that should provide technologies to distribute energy on a decentralized model, of course.
What is distribute energy on a decentralized model?
Infrastructure are still run by centralized organizations, centralized authorities, institutions, or big providers.
For energy distribution, you mean?
Yes, for anything related to energy. Actually, we have to remember that anything we do, it needs and requires energy.
Yes.
And energy in the first and the second industrial revolution was something that was really expensive to acquire. You had to take the source from some kind of fossil fuels, and you needed lots of capitals to run the energy infrastructure. And now, with the evolution of technology and specifically with the renewable energy, what's happening is that energy is for free, because just like in the spectrum, the spectrum is for free. It's from the nature. Energy is coming from the sun, and it is free. So you need the money only to build the infrastructure, but once you have the infrastructure, you don't need much money to run the infrastructure. So the point
So are we talking about solar, like I put solar cells on my house?
Any form of renewables. So of course, renewables is something that is not fixed, it's interruptible, and the energy is not really provided constantly during the day. So you also need a mix of energies, renewable energies, and storage, of course, to run a system. But once you put in place all these pieces, you could run this infrastructure on a distributed way, on a decentralized way.
Okay.
And so the company we built, the new company, Mongrovia Solutions, spinned off actually another company which is called Prosume, and Prosume is providing technologies to manage the demand and response, so the demand side management of energy, and that means the the administration of how you distribute energy in local microgrids.
Okay.
So this makes the system more sustainable and easier to manage. And to do this, you can actually regain ownership of the infrastructure and build a kind of local market. And so once you have a local market, then you need, of course, some kind of automation that's done with smart metering, and you need also an automation for the management of the settlement and balance of this energy production. So you need a
Do you
system.
have this in place in Italy?
Yes,
somewhere where you're doing
we
this?
are just starting now. We did a pilot with an Austrian utility last year,
Okay.
and now we are starting together with a big aggregator from Italy. They aggregate 10,000 prosumers, and we are gonna start now in October with 2,000 prosumers. So we will install the technology and the blockchain platform, because this is what we at the end do, provide the software. And
But it goes to transmission to the original providers who are doing this, right?
No, we
You're
are-
doing only on the distribution side.
Actually, what we do is the aggregator aggregates capacity. So they have production from these many prosumers.
Okay.
Then they put in place storage, and then you need a layer of administration for this. And
Okay.
for this, we provide the software that can be installed on the smart meters, can be installed on anything. At
Yeah.
the end, the only thing you need is some connectivity with the metering devices
Okay.
that collects information. Of course, this makes the infrastructure for an IoT, and in this sense, we provide distributed technologies, specifically blockchain solutions, so to build a decentralized governance of this infrastructure, because that's the point, you know. Now that we are transitioning from the first, second to the third industrial revolution to the IoT infrastructure, we need a different model of governance of this IoT infrastructure. This is what we are trying to push. And in fact, I am invited here in this event. Yeah, this event is run by the FLOSS BCS, or the Free Libre Open Source Software event, organized also by Decode, which is a really important European project running here, and involved by the city of Barcelona, which is Francesca Bria, also member of the IoT Council. And well, they are promoting, of course, infrastructure and technologies to regain ownership and to provide digital rights and identities back to citizens. So they co-organize with this event with the Ayuntamiento of Barcelona, with the municipality, with other movements and organizations from Barcelona, and they organized this event where we actually had 2 days, the last 2 days on the 16th and 17th. It was really interesting and how to say, inspiring speakers and speech in Barcelona, in the center, where we were discussing about also AI and ownership, digital rights, and this is a follow-up event where there are other organizations like Wi-Fi Net, which is a distributed network, and some other. So this event is co-hosted by the same organizers, and it's still keeping on the free software, the open source movement, and yeah,
Fantastic. So
it
you're
is
giving a
actually.
talk? You're giving a talk?
I will be holding a speech together with Fabrizio Sestini also, which is working in the European Commission and was actually promoting a lot of projects on the social impact. So in this case, I'm going to present blockchain applied to social good. So the idea is, of course, that these tools should help society in this sense, and not only the big corporations, because what's happening right now is that we are seeing that all the goods of the data collected by the big corps are going back to the small group, and the citizens who are providing, who are the new material, you know, are not actually gaining back ownership and the goods of this data collection.
So it's our data as users, and we need to take ownership for that.
Yes, we need to take ownership, and this is actually, you know, as going. The event was also called, you know, going beyond what is digital surveillance, of course, and Yeah, there was really interesting speech. You should check on the website of the event. They recorded all the speech of the
Definitely.
last 2 days, and yes, please take a look.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Thanks
It's
to you,
wonderful
Sudha.
meeting you, and
My
you're such an
pleasure.
inspiration.
My